Hello, back with another video here. And today I'm going to be discussing human traffickers targeting influencers. I don't personally consider myself to be like a full-on influencer, but a micro influencer in some respects. And I just had a really strange situation that happened, so I want to talk a little bit about it. And so CEO Pimps as well. This stuff is not really well known as far as the real life applications of this stuff, how to look for it, how to find it, and how it actually happens to common everyday people. So it's just a really dangerous thing with all of the social media and everything that's happening these days. Kids are on social media and adults are on social media, and they can just hide behind a profile without ever having anything really traced back to them. And a lot of times you'll find out in these human trafficking cases and with the pimps, even if you do find out, law enforcement doesn't always find them or really keep them in jail very long, or sometimes they don't even do anything. So it's hard to really say how deep this stuff goes. I mean, it pretty much is everywhere. So they target influencers because they're unsuspecting and they have vulnerabilities. So obviously they know the person wants some form of success and they want recognition. Maybe they're building a brand. So this leaves a bunch of people very vulnerable to this who are using social media. And I've definitely done other things where like promotions and stuff like that. And that's almost a scam in itself because you still they're giving you a free product, but you still have to pay like shipping. So basically they're just giving you like cheap junk for you still having to pay. So that's pretty much a scam, and I'm sure everyone has seen those other scams in their inbox of, oh, we have a modeling gig for you. And that's what happened to me. In this scenario that I'm going to discuss, but I had never seen it on this level of this depth to it. Usually it's very easy to spot, and they're going after money, they're trying to take your money. But in this case, it felt very different. It felt more personal. It wasn't just about taking my money. My actual safety was at risk. So yeah, it's just really important that I hope I can stop anyone else from having to go through this and make people educated, because that's the only way to make sure this doesn't happen to people, is to educate them on what the signs are before they get into it. Because once you get in, it's pretty much too late. Sorry, my cats are just okay. So, gaining personal information, they're gonna get in your inbox. They're going to start saying, oh, we think you would be a great model or you would be a great promoter. And they're going to start asking for your personal information. They're going to say, we have a check. We have to send a check somewhere. So we need your address. We need your email address. They want your email address so that they can take the conversation offline. It is sometimes good to take certain conversations offline if it's like you're really going to meet somebody and you want to like talk to them on the phone or something, that's one thing. But when this company, they're claiming to be affiliated with a certain company or a certain brand, and they make the pay sound really good. They're like, oh, it's going to be like $700 or it's going to be $1,000 or 2,000. And usually what they'll do is they'll say, oh, well, I'm going to send you a check, and then you have to send back you have to pay the stylists and the makeup artists. So you're going to have to send part of this money back to our other team members. And that's like the basic scam, the common scam that you'll typically see. And what they're doing is they'll send you like a fake check, you put it into your bank account, and by the time the money is processing, so it's showing that it's processing, you pull the money out and give it to whoever, and then the check doesn't clear, and that can be really devastating because you can get your bank account taken away, you can get put on like all sorts of lists. But once again, I'm getting into something deeper today than just that. But they will ask for your personal information, your name, things like that. I wouldn't give anybody my real name, and on my Instagram, I don't have my real full name posted. So, because you don't want these people to be able to track like your life and find your friends and family, and it can get like that's how they can blackmail you. But we'll get into that. Sorry, I keep clicking this thing. I don't know why. So they'll give you promises of success and money. They'll offer to pay for traveling. So, it's if someone's buying you a ticket, what if you can't afford to fly home? You could be stuck here with a stranger. You're flying usually out of state, far away from anybody that you know. And that's pretty much what every model wants to some extent. They want to fly the world. They want to travel and see the world and do something that they love and get paid to do it. And so it's a real dream that they have to lure these girls in. And the biggest place was where human trafficking happens is usually large metropolitan cities. Florida, Texas, and California have the highest count of all trafficking. And this guy, he actually offered me to fly to LA and Miami. He is located in Miami, and yeah, so both of the cities, the two largest human trafficking cities, Miami and LA, were the two that he wanted to do shoots with me. So yeah, kind of scary. They don't discriminate. They are everywhere. It doesn't matter your social class, your skin color, your beliefs, your background. This happens to everybody. It happens to, average suburban middle class families and girls who had bright, promising futures. So, and really that's what they're going for. They're going for that girl who is very motivated and wants to do a lot with her life. And so they're playing into that dream of, yeah, you can have that dream. So next I'm going to get into the actual messages. So that you can see, I did make some edits to keep his information private. He did actually end up blocking me because of what I said at the very end. Like I kind of told him like, the gig is up. And so that's why it just says Instagram user. I have no intention of outing him. His profile is still up and running. Once again, it's just something I can't just go making wild accusations on, giving out this guy's personal information. But a lot of times, even if you do try to bring the police into these kinds of situations, it really doesn't get anywhere because these guys are rich. They're filthy rich, and money buys people, money buys anything. So anyway, here we go. So very in-depth, total of 5 shoots, lingerie and heels. You'll be paid $1,000 per shoot if you get selected, January 4th through the 17th. If you're interested, I can explain how casting works. Hotel and flight and accommodation are paid if you live outside of Miami. So this off the bat looked different to me from the other scams that I've seen because it wasn't asking me to pay any money. It was saying travel and all of your accommodations are paid for. So I was like, okay, this sounds legit. And then he said, oh, my girlfriend is from so and so. Nice to meet you. So, because I told him where I was, like, that I have a family house also in Florida. It's not in Miami, but it's within, reasonable driving distance from Miami or whatever. So I was just telling him, like, oh, I have a place kind of down there and I can go there and anyways, and, do whatever I need to do to get the shoot. So he said, please provide more information. Oh, I said, please provide more information. I'd like to audition and apply. And I told him what state I live in. So he says, let me explain casting process. I'll ask you questions and you have to answer quickly and honestly without using words like both, maybe, and I don't know. So yeah, it was just like kind of a weird process. I felt like I didn't really know what to expect. It kind of caught me off guard. And don't judge me. Do not judge me, okay? Because it's actually easier than you think to fall for this stuff. But shoot on my yacht. Yes or no? By the way, there's cursing involved in here and some stuff that children probably should not see. So if you do have children still around at this point, yeah, probably shut this video off. But anyway, so, I was saying, yes, shoot on a yacht. Like that sounds like, once again, my dream. But also sounds kind of dangerous, right? Like you're isolated with some guys on like some big old boat out in the middle of nowhere. Kind of sketchy, right? So he says, every answer that resonates with me in terms of what I'm seeking in the model, I will like it so you know what I'm looking for in the model. So yeah, what he's seeking, this is when human traffickers are like targeting certain individuals, they know what to look for. And so they actually are looking for certain characteristics. Probably the boat, he was probably just trying to gauge, like, okay, is this girl really like willing to take risks? And it sounds like, oh, like he's so balling. And he told me that he had owned clubs, like nightclubs, 3 nightclubs. So at this point, I'm like, oh, well, he owns 3 nightclubs. So, I'm this could be like a big break for me. And he said he was going to market me, and he said his clubs were super popular. He has like lines out the door, and all that might very well be true. Because that's what the CEO pimp is. He is a businessman. He is not like the pimps you imagine in the suits and the big purple hats and stuff. No, these are classy, high class individuals with a lot of money and rapport in society. And they are just completely getting away with this stuff. Hidden in plain sight. It's not a lie. So anyways, I said yes. And he said, rules break or follow. I said, some rules are just meant to be broken. He said, yes, shoot in my jacuzzi with you holding an AK-47, yes or no? And then I was saying yes. So he's like talking about jacuzzi, talking about a really good time. And then I was sending him pictures because he wanted to see some of my portfolio. And oh yeah, at this point we had actually spoken on the phone. So this part here was when we were doing just like the talking back and forth texting. And then I think we ended up calling. I'm trying to get the timeline right, but he ended up like calling me, and we had like an hour-long conversation. And no lie, like this guy was really hot. He's really hot, and had like a bunch of pictures. Like it was an older profile. It's not like a brand new profile that someone put up and then just takes down like a dummy account. Like this was years and there were other girls in his profile, and like lots of other girls, because he worked at, you know, a club that he was saying he owned, and there's all these like cocktail waitresses and dancers and the whole thing. And so yeah, he was very good looking, probably mid-30s, looks like a total normal, healthy guy. You're thinking, oh my gosh, I just found this great catch. Like this guy wants to just swoop me off my feet and just make sure I never have another problem again. And yeah, so we spoke for like an hour, and just during the conversation it started becoming more and more romantic and getting wanting to know each other personally. And at the time, obviously I knew that he had a girlfriend, and I am not like not trying to take somebody else's girl. In fact, or somebody else's guy. I do not yeah, I didn't want anything to really do with that. So, but at the same time, you know, I still kind of like liked him, and yeah, but I just had a respect for that I wasn't gonna come in between that. Um, so yeah, then he's still giving me compliments, saying proud of you, like proud of me. Okay, because he was basically acting like at this point like he's my boyfriend, and that's what these pimps do. The Romeo pimps, um, yeah, they become like your boyfriend. They want to try to become your boyfriend, and that's why it seems so realistic. This is like so different. And yeah, they'll get you to like fall in love with them. They'll take months, sometimes even years, grooming a girl. And so it's pretty scary. Like this could happen to anybody. It really could. And so I really hope that if you see messages like this in your social media, that you question it and, you know, show your friends and family, get other opinions from other people like I did, because that could actually like save your life. So then I was sending him like a selfie, and he said that face better be ready to meet me in person, because like obviously we're gonna meet for the shoot and everything. And he was like, and I love the fact that we developed this organic chemistry without trying at all to understand each other and complement each other's energy. And you understand me as well. And then he was like asking me, the questions became more like personal. He was like, second, you walked into the kitchen and visualized me. And he was basically, what he was doing with all these questions was trying to train me to say yes to everything. And narcissists do this as well. I always am going to tie back into narcissism, because that is who is actually doing this stuff. It's narcissists, and it's all intertwined. But yeah, asking me all these yes or no questions, he's training me to say yes, 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 just mindlessly, yes. And yeah, that's just it's a grooming tactic that all narcissists kind of can use. So, and I said maybe, and remember he had said in the beginning not to say maybe, that doesn't count. Like I started saying maybe to some of his questions, because I was like, dude, I don't even know you. Like, and you're getting all romantic and asking me this and that. You said you have a girlfriend. Like, what gives? Um, oh, and he did say, like, he also told me I should give more backstory to what we were saying on the phone. He told me that his girlfriend at the time lost her job when they first started dating, and she lied to him. And he was like, she's been without a job for like 2 months, and I'm paying for everything for her. So he was like complaining, obviously, about her and making it seem like, oh, she's just using him. And that's the only reason why he's even like flirting with me, is because of that. And yeah, once again, like, I don't know, I was feeling kind of flirty, but not, yeah, I did not ever say like, oh yeah, leave your girlfriend. No. Um, so anyways, yeah, we were talking, and it just got weird with that. So he said, only once you're completely ready will I even touch you until you say yes. And he said, never say maybe. I despise it, please. So like that should have been, it was a red flag, but that's like very creepy. You know, don't say maybe. Don't say maybe when you're talking to a stranger. How are you supposed to be sure about yourself or sure about this person you don't even know? So never say maybe, like you don't even know me. It's just so crazy. So he said, then he asked me like another question. I just blanked that one out because it was like a little bit kind of sexual-ish, but like I don't know. I was thinking in my head like obviously if he didn't have a girlfriend, because that's kind of what he hinted at, was like I would not even touch you, you know, unless I was single again. And I was like, so basically in this I was saying yes I would if you were single, which he's not, but like yeah, I shouldn't have even really said that because it's so messed up. And I did eventually come to say that to him. I was like, dude, like, yeah, if you wanted to be single, you would be. I can read that message. I don't even think that I put that one on here, but it's in my messages. But yeah, so now don't overthink it and just speak your heart. You want me there. So once again, yeah, don't actually think about what I'm saying, right? Hold on, I'm looking for this message. So then I was sending him more pictures and I said, sorry, my face was so red in that second one. I have skin problems from time to time, and I do, obviously. I've never showed these to anyone. And then he said, okay, one thing, never ever say a single bad word about my Emily. And obviously, that's my name. And it's just like, yours? Like, what? You have another girlfriend. And he said, got it. I won't ever hear it. Let me be the one to point it out if I do. If not, never say a single bad thing. So it seems like kind of in a sweet, innocent way, but really what he's saying is that he's the only one that's allowed to like put me down or question me, or like at this point I have to give up my own independence and thinking about myself in a constructive way and just lean on what his opinions and thoughts are. That's what that is. That's what that's trying to train me to do. Um, okay, I just found the message here, but I'm gonna go in chronological order with this, so I'm gonna go in order of the messages. And let's keep going. So then here I was telling him that I was going to a shoot that day and that I would have to talk to him later. And he said, you'll wait for me. What time do you finish the shoot approximately? And telling me to, you know, do well, whatnot. I want to be the first person to find out from you how the shoot went, hun. Like, oh my gosh. I said, I'll probably be done in about an hour or two. Then it takes me an hour and a half to get home. I'm waiting in between sets right now and I'm killing it today. He said, I'm proud of you, hun, once again. Are you enjoying it? So I'm thinking like this guy totally understands, like he's a businessman, he owns a business. He wants to like, you know, market me all across Miami and California and all these huge metropolitan areas. And yeah, that's the life that they want to pull you into. Except it gets a lot darker than that. Um, so yeah, then he said, thank you. Tell me since that day of your shoot on Saturday. I think this might have been, oh yeah. So this was the part where I said, I'll just go ahead and read it here. Look, I did a lot of thinking today and I just feel like it's best we don't flirt and keep it professional. I would never ever take someone else's man or influence a relationship to break up. if you really wanted to be single, you would be. I'm not a rebound kind of a woman. And also, I don't think I'd ever be able to date someone who owns a club. Nothing against it, but part of your job description is looking at girls. So for those reasons, if I'm selected as the model, that's great. But otherwise, it's best that we don't create some wild fantasy that's long distance anyways. I would never want to change you or change any man for that matter. As much as I think you could be a great guy, I know that only leads to resentment. And I'm talking about the fact that he's obviously a crazy party head who probably sleeps around all the time. I said, I don't know you well enough to say if you are or aren't. I've done this enough times to know better that what goes around comes around, so I'll be graceful and take whatever decision you make. At least I'm pretty sure that's when I'm trying to get this time order thing down. So actually, I think it was slightly after this. I think that was probably after this last one. So let's just go through this. Since that day, did you think about me? So he kept asking me this. Did you think about me? How often are you thinking about me? Are you visualizing me there with you? And that is training me to ruminate. That's also something that narcissists do. They will train you from day one to ruminate about them. They will talk to you consistently, probably at the same time every day and all throughout the day, and they will just blast you so that later when they take it away, it's very noticeable. But yeah, he wanted to like, he was just straight up asking me, not even hiding it. I mean, making it seem innocent enough, like, oh, did you think about me? But he's just trying to see how much control does he have? Am I really buying this? Like, they want to know, yeah, are you ruminating yet? So I said, yes, it was often, but I don't know. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So he had like disappeared for like 2 days. Yeah, this was the right timing. He like went totally silent for like the whole weekend. And I was waiting to hear back the results of our interview, which was on the phone and through the questionnaire. And obviously, me sending him my portfolio. So he said that he was going to make his decision that day. And after that, he just like went totally silent for the whole weekend, like I said. So this was when he had come back, this message here. So that's why I was saying, yes, it's often, but I don't know if I want you to know that. Plus, by today, I had just written it off. So I was like, I unfollowed him. I was like, okay, well, obviously he just disappeared. So I don't know, it was a scam or he just changed his mind or whatever. And I probably didn't get the part. Um, and then he said, Emily, I want to know everything about you, every fiber of your being, your mirror, and you being mine. Pure honesty, vulnerable, and real. Oh, you know what? Did I not put the message in here? Oh, yeah. I feel like this is out of order, but he did, I need to find the thing where he said, I think that's down here. Because he was telling me that he broke up with his girlfriend. Let's see. So, yeah, I don't even know if I put that one in here. Sorry, guys, there was just so many messages. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna have to read you this part too because it's not in here. Reason I've been away since the weekend is that me and her broke up on Sunday. Because, narcissists always love to disappear and then come up with some crazy story about why they were gone and why they were ghosting you for a couple of days. So obviously they were with somebody else, caught up with something else. And he said, I helped her out to let her stay at one of my apartments for free for 2 months before she finds her own place and a job. Like, please, like, you want me to buy that you're gonna pay for this girl for 2 months and like you're not still with her on the side? Like, that's what I'm thinking in my mind. Like, This is just getting silly. I was helping her move out from my place, so I was busy last few days. I never even saw your message until this morning. This was our mutual decision, more so my decision, nothing to do with you, okay? I'm a gentleman, even though I'm single, respecting you is number one. And he said that he didn't even see my message also. He said, I didn't even read your message about everything I had read to you before. He said, I didn't even see that. We had made this decision, like we had come to this decision together on our own. And I was like, you know, I was thinking in my head, okay, well, maybe after the 2 months is up, I'll make sure that that girl is no longer there. And I'll ask for some sort of like proof or verification. So if he does that and he really proves to me that he wants to change and he proves to me that he wants to get out of this like crazy nightclub life and like really have a serious life, then, maybe I'll give him a chance to do that. Hi, I'm back. Sorry, I had to take a break. I am so sorry, guys. I thought I had these slides up through the whole video, so I'm just going to quickly go back through them so that you can see and you can screenshot any of the messages or anything if you want, or you can see specifically what the messages say in my DM. So here's the first one and that one. And then right now this is where we are. So yeah, we just talked about that whole thing where he was telling me that they broke up. So here we are. He was asking if I crossed his mind often, and he said, yeah, I want to know everything about you, every fiber of your being, your mirror. And once again, if you know anything about narcissism and the whole mirroring thing, like it's eerie how much the narcissism was just like smack in my face. And yeah, I mean, I kind of did know better, I'll be honest, at this point. Like, I probably should have just cut communication right then. But in my mind, I was thinking, well, like, I don't really care if anything happens romantically with me and him. I don't really want that. I just want to do this job and get my money and, get this over with, move on with my life. I wasn't thinking me and him would be together anytime soon if we ever did develop anything like far, far in the future. But yeah, I pretty much knew at this point he was a narcissist already. And yeah, I don't know, it's hard. It's hard even when you know, because they are just such good actors. So, and he was like, I want you to be mine, pure, honest, vulnerable, and real. Then he would say, sorry, just needed time to finish things off and help her move out. I wanted to be completely done with that part of my life before I hit you up. I thought that would be the best way. Sorry to have made you wait. So this is when they go from talking to you and showering you and all that stuff. They start to transition towards, well, they're not going to answer for a couple days or a couple hours, and that's because they're busy or whatever reason that they have, that they're too busy to respond, when really, obviously he was keeping this other girl on the side and she was likely another one of his targets, another one of his victims. I mean, he made up a whole story about it, but a narcissist will never move on to the next person, their next target, until they have until they have someone ready. So he was kind of trying to get me to that point where I was ready, and then trying to have her still be on the side while he is bringing me into the main position in his life. And who knows? I mean, a lot of times these traffickers, they want you to become financially dependent on them. So they will offer you a place to stay. They'll say, come stay with me. Whatever issues you might have in your family or your financial life, they'll say they have your back. So who knows? That's probably what happened to her. And he, of course, twisted the story but I believe that. So then I said, I don't know yet, but anything is possible. However, you already know my thoughts on the complications about that. Oh, even if I have to wait months and months, I will wait because life is not about that. There are thousands of things we can do. And then I'll keep going and have a great time that is non-sexual. So, yeah, obviously I wasn't planning on giving him up anything, but if we're talking about, you know, getting to know each other and stuff, you never know what's gonna happen. So yeah, I was like, I'd love that just to get to know each other, be friends, have a business relationship. And really, you should probably not have a business relationship at the same time you have a romantic relationship with somebody, especially in this kind of scenario, because it just leads to manipulation, opening up. So then he said, I'm happy you thought about me quite often. You sure did cross my mind the same. I said, okay, well, I have a couple other things to do tonight, but I'm going to hop off here. We can talk more tomorrow. And he said, I just hope you are over the moon about the 3-shot opportunities that I had been awarded. So this is just going more into details about the money and stuff, showing like how much detail he really went into with this whole scheme. He said, 30% when I see you here soon. So I was actually already planning to go to Florida. I had planned a trip weeks, months ago to go. And so I was already going to be in the area, and he mentioned that he would give me the deposit at that point, the deposit for the shoot. So I was thinking we would get to meet up and I would get the deposit. And I guess he wanted to take that opportunity to probably get to know each other better. But he said the rest 70% you want cash. And he was asking me what kind of way I want the cash, check or transfer or what. And I said cash. And then he says, would you like to meet the stylist, hair, costume team, the entire people while you're here? And at this point, he actually had like a designer guy hit me up through email, and this other guy was like talking about dresses and designing me custom dresses. So he said, I need to take you shopping too for dresses, heels, and lingerie. You'd be getting 10 dresses, 10 heels, and 10 lingerie from me. It's a sign of respect, adoring you, and letting you know I'm always here to support, provide, and give you everything and more. Are you okay with that? Yes or no? And I said yes. Said I don't do it for every model, only a fair few whom I know have the potential to be huge. This is purely based on your talent, look, potential, nothing to do with our chemistry, by the way. So, expensive gifts. That is what these CEO pimps do. They love to do the expensive gifts. I mean, it's not like they're going to make that money back anyways, because he's basically exploiting other women already, in a way. And so, yeah, he was just going to shower me with all these gifts and totally act like he's my boyfriend. So, let's keep going. Lastly, would you like me to make time for you personally while you're here to show you around? Yes or no? This one is personal, by the way. I was like, yes, I would like that. And he said, perfect. Now I need your word that when we go shopping, you'll be picky. You'll only get stuff that you like. Don't get it because I say I like it. And I was like, okay. So I was like, this is sounding really legit. He's gonna buy my clothes, my wardrobe. I have this designer guy that I'm talking to about the dresses. I don't know if he had other people actually involved in this, or maybe it possibly was him just talking to me on different devices and in different manners, pretending to be these other people. Who knows, really? And Then he said I should have the location and everything else confirmed by next week from what I'm hearing from management team who will handle location and venue. But as soon as they inform me, I will let you know instantly, okay? I said, sounds good. Awesome. And yes, we will spend a lot of time. So you can tell me what date you are coming and leaving. I will clear out my entire calendar for those days. So I just told him that I was going to be in town to get the deposit, and now all of a sudden he wants to spend like my vacation together when I'm going to see my family. And he said, where exactly will you be at in Florida? I had asked him where he was going to be staying. Like, I was like, okay, well, you can come see me, but where are you going to stay? Because I'm staying with my family. And yeah, so he wanted to know where I was and said, I prefer a lavish hotel, but we'll make sure it's a penthouse suite so you have space to work as well. And I never told him that I was going to like spend the night with him or like anything like that at that point. He was kind of just insinuating and implying that that was just given that I would come and be staying with him, but yeah, that was never going to happen. I wasn't going to spend the night with him because obviously then he would be able to pressure me into something sexual. So obviously I was kind of blanking this part out, but I was telling him I knew of like an upscale area that he could get a hotel. And I told him I would have my own car. Sorry, guys, it gets so hard to keep talking this long. My throat. Okay. So I was like working from a penthouse. I think I could do that. So in my mind, I was like, yeah, I could go over there, hang out with him during the daytime. I could do that and just hang out like at the hotel. He was talking about staying at the Ritz-Carlton, which is a like $500 a night hotel. And he was saying that they have jacuzzis in the room and there's a pool in the room, like a penthouse suite with a pool inside of it. And plus the hotel is right on the beach. So I was like, oh my gosh, this could be so much fun. Just spending time with him as a friend, getting to know him. But that's what these pimps are doing when they're grooming you. That's like actually the first stage of the grooming process is buying you a bunch of things, giving you a lavish lifestyle, and acquiring your trust. So that's pretty much how they do that. So then he said, yes, I know quite a few really nice hotels. And this is when he was bringing up the Ritz-Carlton. He said, I want you to have a look and Google something, please. So then he was like, Ritz-Carlton. And when I looked it up, obviously I got excited just to be able to hang out there. So I was like, hey, would you mind texting me your numbers? Texting me so I have your number. And it's much easier for me to communicate that way since I usually don't get on Instagram this much. And then I gave him my number. So this is when it got even more sketchy. The red flag for me. I usually don't use Teams, Zoom, LinkedIn, or he said I usually use Teams, Zoom, LinkedIn, and social media. Just because with my business, I have people in different departments, especially social media, where I can create group meetings, group chats, and makes work effective, as if you can't do that on a text message. Makes works competent, effective, and quick. So I suck at texting. Even my sisters hear from me quicker through LinkedIn and social media. But I can make an exception, but heads up, I won't be quick at all. Cool. And yeah, he never texted me, never called me. And yeah. So I decided to look up his LinkedIn after that. It's like, okay, well, I want to be able to actually check his LinkedIn. So I asked him, what's your full name on Facebook? And then he gave it to me and he said, oh, the hotel's been booked. No, I prefer this. Like I said, spend 12 to 18 hours a day communicating with all my employees. because I was asking him again, like, can you please text me? I don't want to be opening up my social media app, going back and forth to check and see my messages. And he said, so I'd appreciate if you can respond here quicker so we can know each other better. Thank you. And I was telling him it would be much quicker for me to use text message. Like, nothing he was saying made sense. There's no good reason why you can't give somebody your phone number, and somehow saying that it's quicker to use social media is just, it makes no sense. The truth is he didn't want to give out his number. He didn't want to give out anything that could be traced back to him. And likely he's doing this with multiple other girls. So he can't have all these girls hitting up his cell phone, dinging, dinging all day when he's with girl X or Y or whatever. So yeah, he refused basically to give me his phone number. And I'm like, you want me to like come hang out with you at a hotel and you don't even plan on giving me your phone number? How is that going to even work? I was like, okay, I'll try to check my messages once a day. I also run a business, and if I turn on my Instagram, like, I'll be getting all these notifications all the time. So basically, I was telling him, I'm just as busy as you. I have a job, I manage a company, and I have like 3 other side jobs. So don't talk to me about being too busy. Nobody's too busy to respond to a text message. So that's when I got really, really sketched out. I looked up his name that he had given me on LinkedIn, and I found it. It said he was the owner of some club in Miami. Well, it was the name of a club that is located in Miami, but there was something off with his profile too. The pictures matched what his Instagrams showed, but he only had one connection. I thought that was weird. And the actual address of the club that was on his LinkedIn profile, which he claims to be using all the time, was someplace in Australia. It was like the same name of the club that's in Miami, but it was an Australia location. I looked it up. That place was closed. That place was non-existent. It was permanently closed. So he's got all this social media pages, and I was able to track down the website for the supposed club that he was saying he was affiliated with, but there was no proof of his affiliation with the club. His name was not listed on the website. It all looked legit, but just things weren't adding up. And this is what you have to look out for, is getting the person to prove their affiliation right up front. Because yeah, you can't take someone's word for it. So that was weird. I couldn't find the location. So I decided to ask him. There were like more messages after here. I was like, you need to send me the name of the club. And yeah, let me just open it up quickly. So I was like, not sure what's slow about using text messages. It goes directly to your phone. It's the exact same thing. It's just one more thing for me to have to deal with. And I was like, I couldn't find you on Facebook. I had also looked him up on Facebook, and there was no Facebook account with this name. And he had given me his full name, including his middle name. Still could not find it. And then I asked him, what's the name of your club? Once again, he went silent. So when I started asking these questions, I did not get a response. That was on a Thursday. And he completely ignored me all of Thursday. He ignored my requests. And then he ignored me on Friday. I didn't hear anything from him back on Friday. Then on Saturday, I said, do I have to schedule a Zoom with you so I can see you and talk to you? And because yeah, at this point I was like, I need to talk to him on the phone, or I need to see his face on Zoom, and I need to get these questions answered. What club is it? What's the affiliation? Where's the proof? Where's my contract? Where is anything showing that this is legitimate? And also giving me a phone number. Like, I need a freaking phone number at the minimum to go meet up with somebody. And he didn't respond to that. And I could see when he read my messages, So I think he had some kind of thing where his notifications would probably come up on his screen so he could like look at the message but not actually open it and show that he saw it, because it was not showing any of my other messages were read. But I know like he gets on social media all the time. And so at that point I was just done. Like I just lost it. I was like, you are unbelievable and I'm out. I don't care about the money. Don't ever try to talk to me or find me again. And that at that moment, he got on his thing and it showed seen. So I knew that like he had to be able to look at what the message said before he opened it. Because as soon as he saw that, he was like, okay, game over. He got on and he instantly blocked me. And yeah, so that's pretty much the last time that I spoke to him. And it just goes to show like he's talking about showering me with love and affection and being my boyfriend, but you can't even give me your phone number. It's just so unbelievable to me. I don't know how anyone would fall for that, but it's possible for, I guess, people to fall for that kind of a thing. But that's what you have to look out for, is the inconsistencies with what they're saying. That's how you'll know that it's a scam. So we're going to get into these last couple slides to wrap everything up. The CEO pimp is, like I said, the businessman. He could own nightclubs. He could own models, dancers. He has a whole network of girls and men working around him that make him look completely legitimate, like a completely legitimate business. And the business could even be fronting for what he's doing. So on the front, you have this business running, but on the back end, you're actually like pimping these girls out, and you have probably multiple girls that are staying in various places. And so yeah, the extravagant gifts. The Romeo pimp, by the way, is the pretty much another name for it is the lover boy. This is the one that boyfriends you. His popular tactic is to boyfriend you. So he was doing both on me. He was doing the CEO, giving me the business opportunity, and the Romeo, the love. But obviously they were both fake. Just from all the messages we looked at, that was pretty obvious. And secretive, so not wanting to give out his information, not being upfront about where he worked, and just kind of going through hoops to make it look like he had a legitimate business. Establishing trust. So after they attain all the information that they need from you, and they've found out what your weaknesses are, what your vulnerabilities are, they're gonna just try to find out who you are as a person and what you want. That's when they need to start establishing the trust. So they'll give you, business cards, they'll have affiliations, and it's really, really hard to know what you're up against. And the only reason I even really figured out what was going on was because I started researching this stuff, and I started asking some other of my model friends and some other people I knew in the industry. And they were like, yeah, you have to watch out because people are trafficking humans, especially in Miami and LA, the areas he was talking about flying me to. He was talking about flying me to Hawaii as well, which I thought was kind of creepy because we're like on this island together. And it's just so easy to trap somebody once you're in a private setting like that. Anything could happen. So, and it's funny because I actually went out to go get on my flight today. I was supposed to be on my flight to Florida, and the flight got canceled. So I ended up not even going. And I just felt like that was a sign that I wasn't even supposed to go. And I don't know if he had people posted up at the airports because he knew when I was flying in, like looking for me. But for whatever the reason, I'm not there. And hopefully he will just forget about me and I will never, ever hear from him again. But you never know. These people have a lot of money and They have ways of probably finding people, but I never gave him my full name or anything like that. So let's move on to the last slide, which is tips to protect yourself. Don't give out your personal information. Don't give out your phone number, your full name. Don't talk about your family. Don't talk about your friends. And if you want to look them up on Facebook, okay, but don't like add them until you have made sure and verified that they are a real person. You're going to do that by asking them for references. So you have to ask them for multiple sources of references. That can be a thing that's easy to fake, because they could also just hire other girls and have them say whatever. But you want to check with the references, the girls. You want to ask them for portfolios of their work. So you want to get some proof that this is real and that other people have actually done business with him before, or them, whoever the company is. Asking for proof of identification. So from now on, I'm going to ask up front, if anybody sends me these messages, I'm going to say, give me your ID, give me a picture of your ID, send it over to me so that you can do a background search on them. You can do a criminal record search, which is free public record if you know what state they're in. And asking for proof of their affiliation with their business. So make sure there's some sort of proof showing they actually work for the company they claim they are working for. There's so many people saying, oh, I work for Adidas and these big name brands, but all the websites and everything is fake. And you have to contact the company directly and say, does this person work for you? Don't talk to whatever person they tell you to, oh, go ask this person. No. If they say they work for that company, then there should be somebody when you contact that company directly that says, yes, that person works for us. Bringing an escort. So that's just bringing somebody with you along on your photo shoots. Once again, using another like female might not be a great idea, because then you're kind of both in danger. If you have a tough boyfriend or maybe a family member, just bring somebody. And if you're not going to bring somebody, then you have to tell somebody where you're going. You should probably put the tracking, you should turn on your Finder app and have somebody else that can see where you are and knows where you're going, because you do not want to be caught alone with these people. And even if you tell someone where you're going, they could easily just snatch you up, take you somewhere else, and then it's up to the police to find you. And if they can't find you, then that's it. Once you get in this business, it's extremely hard to get out. Because at this point, remember, they've made you fall in love with them. You actually believe that they are your boyfriend. They're not your pimp. They're your boyfriend. And they're your business partner, and they want your dreams to come true. But I just don't want this to happen to anybody else, and I'm really glad that it didn't happen to me, and that I've had enough knowledge about narcissism to see all of the red flags coming like a mile away and actually stop it from happening this time, which I am proud of to say. It's like this. If somebody can't be alone and they're not already alone by themselves when they meet you, then they have no business wanting a relationship with you. Somebody who can't be alone is very dangerous, because they're just going to hop from person to person. And if he was willing to talk to me, flirt with me while he still had a girlfriend, of course he's gonna be willing to do that again when he decides that I'm not worth it anymore for whatever reason. So you just have to stay vigilant, and I hope that this helps somebody else out there. And yeah, feel free to like and comment if you've experienced anything similar. I'm sure a lot of people have experienced similar things to this. And leave that in the comment section below. And I'll see you next time.